Good evening, friends, and thank you so much, Suvain, for giving this opportunity. So, my sharing with you, I think it's going to be very focused over here. My friends have already covered a couple of aspects about enhancing sales productivity. But let's look at what really productivity is. And when we talk of productivity, there are many definitions which come to our mind. But essentially, if we look at productivity, it is the right actions that are driving results in the momentum of time. So if you drive more sales within the same period, giving the right actions, that's what productivity is all about. So that's the real myth. It's a mixture of emotional, subjective and objective aspects. So I'm going to talk about how to demystify both the elements. So fundamentally, if we really look at the productivity aspects, it could be process driven, like Sarajit talked about it, Suresh talked about it. It could be process related, which is the conventional way productivity has been always evaluated. And there are so much that is happening now, especially with the clients that we work with, in the domain that we live in the world that we live in today. Productivity is, and especially in FMCG, as you rightly said, and also in the durable industry and in the various service industry, we need to have the right tools to fight the battle that we are having in the market today. So we cannot be fighting World War III with the arrows and the bullets anymore. The tools need to upgrade themselves. Tools need to modify themselves, and that's the need for driving sales productivity today. Technology today really helps us. It is actually a very potent friend. So the CIO of the company can actually enable us to enhance the productivity in more ways than we think today. The data, the session that we had just before tea break, actually data can really be converted into meaningful information to enhance your productivity. That's one aspect that you can actually look at. We already have talked about the conventional part of enhancing sales productivity, so I won't really go over there, which are primarily, you can have the fine-tuned processes, you can really expand your geography, you can have more number of salespeople, and you can enhance your productivity. But what is important today is about understanding the consumer insights. I want to ask a question at this point of time. How many of you in the last 6 months have bought a mobile phone? Raise of hands, please. So a couple of you, I see. Now, second question, do you really need that phone? You are already having a phone, right? But someone thought of new features, someone thought of a new product configuration, someone really worked on the product and launched a product in the market. That product increased the sales for that company. So whether it is Samsung or whether it is iPhone or whatever it may be, the brands may be different, but someone sitting over there has worked on the product in a manner that the sales productivity goes from point A to point B. And that's the crux. That sales is one aspect of the business. And when we are looking at the entire mosaic, sales is one of the very important and important tool, but at the end of the day, it is only one cog in the wheel of an organization. If we really look at the sales productivity, we have to look at the entire picture. And when we look at that entire picture, we see that the product makes a very big impact. Understanding the consumer insights makes a very big impact. Also, I would like to stress upon a fact that when we are looking at implementing the processes, implementing the tools in terms of expanding geographies, getting the new tabs and handhelds, which all new I would find in the sales domain, the companies have really equipped their sales with. At the same time, the knowledge about using those tools, knowledge at the training and development level for the heads of the sales team goes a long way. We have found in our appraisals, and we have worked with about 15 to 20 brands in enhancing their ROIs, and we have found that The handheld devices that were given to the teams, they knew about it, but the people at the top, they didn't really knew what all they can derive from that, the systems, the handhelds. So training and development, especially in the new age economy that we live in, is very important. So it is not just the field force which is supposed to use that handheld, but also the higher ups, as to how that handheld can actually make a difference in terms of the information that can be drawn. And maybe the technology guys also not to be blamed, because they got to know about 10 things that that handheld can do. But maybe that handheld can actually do maybe 5 more things which the heads would be really interested in. So looking at the training and development part, looking at the soft skill in terms of how to really keep the people in your team empowered, getting the right context to deliver the results goes a long way, is what we have seen. So internal fine-tuning the processes has resulted in one of our clients to enhance the turnover by as much as 150% during a year-on-year scenario. And that's something which has given us insight that it can really be a combination of internal structuring of processes and also facing the external environment in a manner that really makes for sales productivity. Something which I would also like to share with you is the 215 phenomena. Now that's 215 is primarily, if you really look at how many days are there, a dumb question, how many days are there in a week, or days are there in a year? Let's look at it this way. 365. But essentially speaking, there are only 215 or 200 odd days in a salesman year. Because if you really look at it, there are Saturdays, there are Sundays, there are holidays, there are so many things which keep on coming in between. So salesman is not really in office during those days. But today, the organizations demand that he be on the job. So there is a lot of productivity that gets lost in the traditional and the conventional way, which completely gets replaced when you use the right tools and the salesman actually is empowered not to work for those 215 days, but actually is working for those 365 days, which we say that a salesman is salesman for life, and it's not just for 9 to 5 job anymore. So if you really look at it, it's a very empowering context when the salesmen hear it, because it is their life that they are living in, out there in the field. And that's something which I have seen in my experiences of various organizations, including LG, that we sold, this is a couple of years back data, but we sold some 5 lakh TVs in a matter of 40 days during Diwali. And it was astounding, considering that there were so many holidays, and there was Diwali, and there was Dussehra, and so many things happening. But the salespeople were clear that this is the product, the market is there, let's hit the market. So the sales productivity graph rose to an all-time high for the company, including the country actually. No other brand in the country at that point of time had done that kind of work. So this is a combination of empowering your sales force and ensuring that they are on the ball at all times. Now another thing which can work very well in today's context, and as I shared with you, the market has changed, the reality has changed, the market landscape demands more smart and innovative ideas at work. So one company can only do that much with the data that they have, whereas if you work together with collaborative data approach or collaborative approach, you can actually produce miracles. So in one of the programs, let me earn my salary over here, we have a consumer reward program that works for multiple brands at the same platform. And we have seen that when we link up the data together of various brands' purchase patterns of the same customer, it produces some miraculous insights as to when the consumer is likely to buy the next product. And that is the ability in terms of forecasting the customer's purchase patterns, having the data in the background, which becomes a terrific asset for the partner brands. And that can actually lead for enhanced sales at the same time, where the salesman is about to know only about his company's data. So this is something which we have seen has given tremendous results for 3 of our brands that we work with. The experience of someone buying from Surat Diamond or Gitanjali Jewels and then making a purchase and landing up at Dr. Batra's and then going to some other brand at our e-commerce store we have worked on the pattern, and we found that the sales productivity enhances at least 50% in the as compared to the control group. So I would just make it a little short reference of that ability. Apart from the fact the world is actually open now today. So until about 10 years ago, when the world was a little limited to certain specific approaches, today we have social media, and social media can really help. Certain brands, not all of them, but certain brands can really leverage social media in a manner to enhance their social sales productivity in a way they never thought it would be possible. And especially if in the audience there are people who are associated with e-commerce, who are associated with products which can be put on the e-commerce platform, you can really use social media in a very meaningful way. And that's something which can really enhance your sales productivity. Last but not the least, I would actually say one thing. All of us in this hall have only 24 hours at the end of the day. Mr. Ambani sitting in his office chamber also has the same. So there is no difference between the time that you and me have as professionals, as entrepreneurs, and the richest man on the planet or richest man in the country. The difference between him and us is that he uses his time more effectively. So fundamentally, what you do with the time is what matters. So if you are really looking at sales productivity, you should really look at how your team is really spending the time or investing in the time. So starting from myself or starting from the team that I work with, we have a straight and a clear approach that plan your time effectively. The agendas should be very clearly laid out even before the meeting starts. You should just plan only that much what is required. So we have seen sales productivity enhances immensely in a matter of 15 days just because you have a clear agenda. When you are meeting up with your team, straight come to the point. These are the 5 pointers or 4 pointers. Straight inform them in advance so that they are coming with a clear approach that, okay, these are the areas that we would like clarity on. They are coming with the results rather than wasting time in questioning. They are actually putting down things on the slide or the way you want to. So you can really enhance your productivity as a matter of sales productivity if we really look at from a perspective that everybody in the team is having scheduled meetings. No unscheduled meetings. If you are just being called in for a meeting, I would say please refuse it until unless it is from the top boss or whatever may be the reason you have. But fundamentally, if you are scheduling yourself for a meeting, ask for a clear agenda. If somebody is hosting a meeting, if you are hosting a meeting, you create an agenda and circulate it to the team people. I can share with you the person who is walking out of this auditorium today. You are not the same anymore. Because your productivity will automatically increase a minimum 50%, and that's my guarantee. So if you increase your productivity by less than 50%, please follow me on. Thank you so much. Good day.